Okay, CBT lesson. I'm going to say for Christiana, but it's Christiana's husband. I forget your name, man. This is Marty Stuart with a song called Tempted. That's actually the first request I've even had for anything from Marty Stuart. Cool song. 4 pages in your tabs, standard tuning. I put your EQ at low at 6, mid at 8, highs at 10, gain at 3 to 4. And the effects, the primary effects used are reverb, chorus, and then a tremolo knob or a speed knob. Kind of gives you that waviness for certain parts of it. Anyways, all that's written on your tabs. We have 8 sections. I gave you a couple different variations on some guitar parts you can do. Something interesting, it's standard tuning, but Marty Stuart has a capo on fret 1. So I stayed true with that, but the other guitar, I think there's a couple other guitar players, there's at bare minimum one more, that is at standard tuning. Okay, so we have to pick one, and this is the primary guitar. So I don't know, you know, if you don't like using capos, I'm giving it to you the way that Marty Stewart's playing it, but you can take all this stuff, get rid of the capo, and just scoot it back 1 fret. But then, you know, you won't be in tune with the song. Another option is, if you don't like using capos, you could utilize the capo as your bar and play them as bar chords. But I'd get a capo and do it this way. But like I said, I noticed on the guitar solo, I can tell that there's no capo on there. And there's another like secondary guitar part where I can tell that there's no capo, where they're utilizing an open, meaning like open E and hammering to the 1st fret. But that is secondary guitars. All right, so so if you're capoing fret 1, these dots are going to be all different now because we're off by a fret. So we're calling fret 2, because I have a dot on fret 3 here, my sight marker. That's actually fret 2 now, because the capo is now our opens that's covering fret 1. I'm only saying that because I don't know if you've worked with capos much. Why they chose to do this, I don't know. Sometimes it's for simplicity for the chords, and they don't want to have to be doing bar chords through it. But for whatever reason, Marty Stuart chose to use the capo on the 1st fret. All right, so let's jump in and get started. We're starting. It's pretty straightforward, you know, all the chords and stuff in here. Power chords on the beginning. So you want open E and 2nd fret on the A string. And like I said, don't pay attention to your dots so much now if you're used to using them, for the obvious reasons. You want a palm mute, you know, which is lightly resting your palm right here in front of the bridge, and you got to be careful because if you move it from here to here, it could choke the note out too much. So you want to, if you're not really comfortable on palm muting, experiment with like playing an open E. That's too choked. Watch as I back my palm up. Then you get a better palm muted sound. So you may have to experiment with that. So 1st finger, fret 2 on the A string, and we're going to be playing string 6 and string 5 at the same time, 8 times. Let me play the section so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, so that's 1 second to 6 seconds in the song. It's double dots, so you're going to play that twice. So back here we go. It's 8 times. You can count it as, you know, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or if it helps, count them as an 8th note rhythm, which is technically, theoretically, what's going on. And you would count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a little easier to count it as 8th notes to say the and rather than have to keep counting a number each time. But at the end of the day, you're playing it 8 times. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Drop that chord that you're playing there down 1 fret to 2D. Now we're palm muting still, but we're playing open A and 2nd fret D. This is 4 times. So it's a real easy transition. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 3 and 4 and. This last chord, take your few ways you can go finger-wise. I'll show you what I think makes the most sense. You can alter these fingerings if you want, though. I'm barring, I'm taking my 1st finger, barring the 2nd fret on the E and A, and going 4 times on those 2 strings. palm muted. I think that fingering's pretty comfortable because you're already here. Actually, you're coming off this one. Everything's all like in a close proximity to each other, so but you could also, your call. That whole thing is 2 times through, and then section 2 comes in. Section 2 sounds the same, but it is a little bit fuller, and you'll see why. I could have just left it as section 1, but I'm trying to get these exactly the way these songs are being recorded. So here's what you got for section 2. 7 seconds to 28 seconds. It's played 6 times, the section, and here's 1 time of the section. Alright, so it starts the same way. Open E, 2A. You're going to play 8 times. Palm muted, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Drop down just like last time. Open A, 2D. 1 and 2 and. And then here's where it changes. It's fuller. Middle finger 2E. Third finger 2A. First finger 1D. That's the difference, is this note. Alright, we're palm muting still, but now we have to strum over 3 strings. E, A, and D. 4 hits on that. And that would go 6 times. I'll play it 2 times for you right now. 2 more. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's 2 measures worth. 1 measure, 1 and 2 and 3. Oops, wrong spot. I'm using my dots. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's 1 measure in music. And then the next measure is split between 2 chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You're already here, so just move that back a half step. A half step means 1 fret. Go flat, that means lower. So the transition there should be pretty smooth. Just got to get these 2 fingers up here, right? 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That is section 2. That's played 6 times, as I said. You'll see double dots in there, plus I wrote 6 times, so you won't get confused. Section 3 comes in. Just another variation of the same concept. This is 29 seconds to 31 seconds in the song. And it's the open A, 2nd fret D. And this one is 8 times, so it's a measure worth of 1/8 notes. Palm muted, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to drop this down this time to the 2nd fret on the G and play the open D string 4 times, palm muted. And one thing you got to be careful with, the natural angle of your strum hand is not like this. It's going to be like this. So when you got a palm mute, it's really comfortable on the E and the A. Once you get to like the D and G, you are close to crossing that line of choking the palm muting too much just from the natural angle. So you may have to just twist your wrist. You don't even really have to move your hand per se, but just angle your wrist a little more to keep that palm muting sound consistent. So let me play this this section 3 here, 29 to 31 seconds. That's it. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're dropping down to open D, 2G. If it's choked, it'll sound like that. You don't want that. Just curve it back, twist your wrist a little. And then back to open A, 2D, 2 times, palm muted. And then you're going to strum this E major shape, 2A, 2D, 1G, and hit them all. So that's not in the section, that's a little external piece. I didn't give it a section name on that because it's just strumming the 1 chord. Then section 3 comes back in, which is the part you just did, minus that E major strum at the end. And that's 32 seconds to 35 seconds. So that would once again be. And then you'll have another in-between part here, which is 2A. And it sounds like there might be a 4D in there, which would just be a power chord. But the dominant note is really the 2nd fret A, so you can hit just that, or you can hit it, make it a little fuller. 2A, 4D. Alright, and then section let me see here. I gotta fix that in your tabs. Put section 6 2 times, but we didn't do section 6 yet. That would be, should be section 1, which is gonna be the, actually I think it's section 2, which is the built upon version of section 1. And that's 37 seconds to 42 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta fix that in your tabs. That's gonna be section 2 6 times, or section 2 2 times. Then this part comes in really cool sounding. This is what I'm talking about when I gave you a variation part. And it's going like this. Play it for you. This is where that speed tremolo knob kind of comes in. It gives you that wavy effect. Gotta turn it over. Yeah, so it's. And they're all three in one spot. You'll see a hold marker in your tabs telling you to leave them ringing. You don't want to go. Keep everything sitting down. So that is, I had to notate in my tabs because I was using my dots and forgot, oops, we have the capo. But it's all, it'll make sense here. We have 9979. And you're going string 3 2 1 2 2 times. Then take your pinky, extend that up a half step. So that would be 10 on the B, but you're picking it the same just one time through. 3 2 1 2. So here it is up to there. And then the last one, go middle finger, fret 8 on the G, and then your first finger bar the 7th fret on the E and B. Make sure that this finger isn't angling too far down to where it mutes the B. So try and stay on the tip, apply a little upward pressure to it. But behind that, you know, you still got this. You can pick and choose, but I figured you would definitely want this part. It really sounds cool. So, and then you'd repeat that. That is actually played 5 times. Then section 3 comes back in, and that's 1:01 to 1:03. You can refer back to that. You're going to want to get familiar with the section names. And then it'll have the E chord separating it. And then section 3 again, 1:05 to 1:07. And then we have that in between, either a 2A or a 2A 4D. All repeats. Section 4 2 times. That's 1:09 to 1:15. And section 4 is that arpeggio melody that we just did, this part. Does that twice, and then a new section comes in. This is section 5, 1:16 to 1:25 in the song. Back to some palm muting through all of this section. Open E, 2A, and this is a measure worth of eighth notes. You're going to strum it 8 times, all down strums. And then 2 and 3 and 4, and now the chord order is different now. 2E, 2A, 1D is your next one, and that's going to be 8 times as well. Then right back to the first chord you did 8 times. And drop down to open A, 2D. Let me play right up to there because something changes here. Watch. Here's where it changes. You're going to go open A, 2D, but you're going to, this is actually good practice to, it's not all palm muted. It'll go. So the first 2 are palm muted, the second 2 aren't, the next 2 are palm muted, the next one isn't, and the next one is. So it's up to to tempo. And then back to this one. This is a little bigger this time. Open E, 2A, 2D. I like to bar that. And you're going to play that that'll be 8 times palm muted. So you can count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 2E, 2A, 1D. It's like an E major chord shape there, but it's not an E major chord. And you'll go 8 times there, palm muted. Alright, that's it for section 5. Then we have section 4 on a repeat, a minute 26 to a minute 29. We move into page 3 in your tabs, and this is the guitar solo. And this is, like I said, when they recorded this, and probably when they do it live, Marty's not playing the solo. The other guitar players, and there's no capo on it, but I figured it out with the capo on for you. You're not going to want to switch it in between. That would be silly. Although it's been done. You go open E, and this is a minute 30 to a minute 54. I can also tell he's picking back by the bridge. It gives you a more kind of a surf tinty sound. So go open E, 2E, 4E. So, and then you're going to go into this 2E, 2A, 1D. Strum that. You're going to see a W for whammy. Go down and up. Hopefully I stay in tune here, but okay, so you'll strum it, those 3, whammy down, and back up. And I stayed in tune, good. And then go 4E again, open A, 2A, bend, release. That's a whole step, so you'll go. So it's emulating. Oops. And then open A, 4E, first finger though, 7E, slide to 4th fret and then pick it. The next part is 2E, 7E, again, slide to 2, and when you get to the 2, pick it, open E. And then in between this really cool chord thing, they go, oops, and that's 2G, open B, open E, middle finger, and then go to 1, open, open. So 4th fret, D, G, and B. I like to bar that, but you can use 3 fingers either way. Whammy, kind of the surf style. And then open E, 7E, slide to 4, and then pick it. 2 on the E. And then open E, 2A, slide to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. After you slide to 5, you're going to pause, slide it back to 2, so, and go to 4th fret E after that, so it's, or 2A, slide to 4, and pick 4, middle finger 5E, first finger 2E, first finger 7E, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up here. 7E, slide to 4, and pick. And then a little quicker part will go 2A, 2D. So 2A, 2D, 4D. And then jump up to 7 on the D and slide it to the 1st fret. And pick that. And then middle finger 2D. Now, when you hit that 2D, it's actually the downbeat of section 4 coming back in, which would be the picking part. Okay, I believe so. Yes, and then after that. So section 4, one time, 158 to, or 155 to 158, and there's an altered part here of section 6. I'm going to put that in part 2 of your video because we are out of time.